All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the party. If you are looking to break into the cyber industry or you're working and need to stay current on the top cyber news stories of the day, welcome, my friend, to Simply Cyber's Daily Cyber Threat Brief. We're over the next hour. We are going to do exactly that. On top of all of that, we are going to go beyond the headlines and go deeper. I'm going to apply my 20 years of experience to each of these stories in order to data mine some additional value for you and be able to level up your professional career faster and with more efficacy. Also, I want to point out right above my head and right there in chat with you is the Simply Cyber community, the hashtag Team SC, a collection of amazing professionals who are also interested in helping each one of us level up. So say hello in chat, get ready, buckle up. We got a great show for you. We're going to be going through the top 8 stories of the day and a couple other sprinkles on top of that. As always, every day of the week has a special segment, and Tuesdays is Tidbits Tuesday, where I give a little bit about myself, share a little, see if we can vibe on it. Sometimes it's embarrassing, but it's always a good time no matter what. I do want to say hi to some regular hashtag Team SC community members like Mara Levy, Chuck, Michael Andruzzi, Butler NA on that long drive home, Tarmas Marquette, Augusta Delgado, Code Brew in the upstate, Kayla Kavanaugh, as always, Carrie's in here working. Ms. Julian, crushing it. Here we go. All right, guys, I want to let you know every single episode of the Daily Cyber Threat Brief is worth half a CP. So not only are we giving you community and helping you level up and be the best cyber professional you can be, we're also helping you maintain those cybersecurity certifications that can be such a pain in the butt. But we got you covered for days. All you got to do is say what's up in chat. Grab a screenshot of you saying what's up in chat. If you want to get extra spicy, you can grab the scrolling ticker across the bottom where it says episode 929, half a CPE, and the show title that says July 29th. File that screenshot away. Once a year, count the screenshots, divide by 2. That's how many CPEs you have, my friend. And on top of that, if you ever get audited, you'll have all that forensic evidence of those screenshots, time-stamped and delightfully put together for the auditor, because we do love our GRC people, don't we, folks? Yes, sir. Love myself some GRC. Anyways, I hope everyone's doing well. Before we get into it, let me say shout out and thanks to the stream sponsors. I'm just going to do a couple, and then we will get into some more as the show goes on. I want to start off with Barricade Cyber's Fortify 365 solution. You can strengthen your Microsoft's M365 environment with the knowledge and know-how of the team at Barricade Cyber Solutions. Here's the reality, folks. A lot of people have Microsoft 365 environments. You yourself might have a Microsoft 365 environment, whether it's corporate, education, nonprofit, whatever it is. The M365 environment is widespread and comes with a lot of configuration controls that can harden and secure your environment. But if you don't know how to secure it, what are you supposed to do? Well, the answer is call Barricade Cyber at barricadecyber.com/fortify-365. Eric Taylor and the team are going to be able to jump in there with you and help you configure the living crap out of your environment and make it hardened, secure, and accessible for all your needs. As always, I want to say shout out to Antisyphon training, guys. Blue Team Summit coming up August 27th. Don't be the guy who's screaming FOMO when Blue Team Summit comes around. You can go to the link in the description below here and check it out. I've seen the lineup. I don't know if it's publicly available, so I won't disclose anything, but I've seen the lineup. It is a great talk track of industry professionals. Some of them, I'm not going to say whom, some of them are our very own Simply Cyber community members. So super pumped to see community members out there leveling up, public speaking, just inspiring others to step forward and contribute into the community and into the cybersecurity industry. It's going to be great for your career, believe that. Way to go, everybody. So go to antisyphontraining.com/event/blue-team-summit. I put the link in the chat there. And register. It's free. Free 99. If you like great cybersecurity content, you're going to love Antisyphon Training's Blue Team Summit. Now, if today is your first day, I would love for you to sound off with a hashtag first timer. I see FedEx is coming hot from the water cooler. I love it. All right, guys. Hey, check it out. Our first talk is going to be about Aeroflot aeroflopping over IT issues. It's going to be a good one. Holy crap. Before we get into that, James McQuiggan off the top rope with gifted subs. 20 gifted subs from James McQuiggan.
We just become best friends. Yep.
Thank you, James McQuiggan. And on behalf of Pyramid 7 and Persistent Bake and Jeremy Lozano, The Propagator, Barker's Club, guys, squad members, welcome to the party, pal. If today's your first episode, drop a hashtag first timer. I see Stephanie Imasua, first timer, and Christopher Henderson, first timer live, but we'll allow it. Squad members, listen, hey, squad members, let's go ahead and welcome these folks into chat. And if you are a newly minted squad member because James McQuiggan just hooked you up with a squad membership, look in your emote tray. You'll see extra emotes, and we're gonna welcome Stephanie. Sorry, Stephanie. I don't know why I'm having such a tough time saying your last name. Imasua and Christopher Henderson with the John McClane. Welcome to the party, pal emotes. Love it, love it, love it. There it is.
Welcome to the party, pal.
Nice job, everybody. And welcome Stephanie and Chris. I hope you guys enjoy the show. We have a good time here. It's all about good times. All right, guys. Let's get ready to boogie, shall we? All right. I still have to, hold on. I got to do one more. Let me do one more ad read really quickly. I have to do 5 today just because, unfortunately, I screwed up the delete me ones earlier in the month. And they messaged me. All right, so let's hear from Threat Locker, and then we're going to dive in. I'll be in chat. And what? Hold on. First timer, I just, we got CC and first timer. I just got a 2-1 in my final cybersec exam at Warwick University. CC, welcome to the party, pal.
Welcome to the party, pal.
Jesus, I love it, guys. I'm not going to sit here and underplay it. I love welcome to the party, pal. I love welcoming first timers. It's just great. When someone gets a job, that's the penultimate sound effect. But first timers are awesome. Hey, Cece, I just want to let you know tomorrow is Worldwide Wednesday where we go around the world. So would definitely appreciate you in chat tomorrow representing the UK if you are physically there. Oh, I see KP and DP down the hall. Good to see you guys as always. All right, guys, let's hear from Threat Locker really quick, and then I'm going to be giddy up and all over the news. I want to give some love to the Daily Cyber Threat Brief sponsor, Threat Locker. Do zero-day exploits and supply chain attacks keep you up at night? Well, worry no more. You can harden your security with Threat Locker. Worldwide, companies like JetBlue trust Threat Locker to secure their data and keep their business operations flying high. Threat Locker takes a deny-by-default approach to cybersecurity and provides a full audit of every action allowed or blocked for risk management and compliance. Onboarding and operation is fully supported by their US-based Cyber Heroes support team. Get a free 30-day trial and learn more about how Threat Locker can help prevent ransomware and ensure compliance. Visit threatlocker.com. All right, hey, really quickly, I see Alfredo Tagolo saying he is in Southern California. Any meetups? I want to let everybody know, if you go to simplycyber.io, that's my main website. It's just more of a kitchen junk drawer than anything else at this point. But right here, Alfredo and everybody else, if you look, we actually have a Simply Cyber community meetup map. Right, here you go. Let's see, I don't know how to... I'm not even sure how to fully maintain this, but if you look right here, as it currently is constituted, we actually have a San Diego contingent here, and we have a Los Angeles contingent. This was set up maybe in the last 6 months, and it still continues to function. So if you are interested, Alfredo, go check that out. You can ping Omni. Hold on, I'll have to. You'll have to go and do it. I don't know who this Omni cultist person is, but anyways, do me a favor, everyone. Sit back, relax, and let's let the cool sounds of the hot news wash over us in an awesome wave. Only 2 more weeks of that spicy sound effect until I'm back in my main studio, and then we're gonna get the actual spicy one. Elliot Matisse says the Bay Area one hasn't been added yet. Yeah, this map is currently not supported as it's currently constituted, Elliot. But we have the Discord server. All right, guys, we got to get to work though, for real.
From the CISO series, it's cybersecurity headlines.
These are the cybersecurity headlines for Tuesday, July 29th, 2025. I'm Lauren Verno. Hacktivist attack grounds Russian flights. A politically motivated cyber attack forced Russia's Aeroflot airline to cancel dozens of flights on Monday. The airline reported IT system failures that led to at least 50 flight cancellations and multiple delays at Moscow's airport. The airline said ticket offices are also temporarily not processing refunds or rebookings, but will resume once services can be restored. Hacktivist groups Silent Crow and Belarusian Cyber Partisans, BY, claimed responsibility for the attack and said the disruption followed a year-long compromise of Aeroflot's systems.
All right. So, this is just more of the same. So apparently Aeroflot is the Delta Airlines of Russia, the American Airlines of Russia, I guess if you want to get right on tip of the nose there. And basically they got hacked, right? I mean, this is no different than when CrowdStrike took down Delta. This is no different than there's been numerous kind of like attacks. When you're talking about airline, usually this is a classic like IT/OT situation. I don't even know if they consider the flight systems on an airplane the OT, but as far as like scheduling flights and knowing how many seats are available, knowing who's supposed to be on what flight, the baggage handling. Think about how quick you land in Dallas, Fort Worth. Big shout out to Big Texas, DJ BSEC in the house. You land in Big Texas, and you got to get 45 minutes to get to your next plane to go to Rapid City, South Dakota for Wild West Hackin' Fest. And you can barely make it, but somehow your bags make it. The logistics of getting bags off planes and distributing them all the places they need to go, it's phenomenal, the automation and the systems they have, but it all runs on IT. And when you disrupt all of that, it doesn't matter if the plane is safe to fly. Plane doesn't know where it's going. The plane doesn't know what people are on it. The plane doesn't know what bags are on it. It's a hot mess express, okay? And it causes massive disruptions. In this instance, hacktivists, a ideologically motivated threat actor, which happens in times of war, for sure, attacked these Russian airlines. Dude, Russia attacked Ukraine's train system like maybe 6 months ago. Go Google it. Like, disrupting transportation is just it's a way to mess with the citizens and the government of the country you're trying to terrorize. Basically, to what's the word? Impose your power on them, your national power on them. That's all it is. So in this instance, Russian airline got taken out. Okay, like, I'm glad no one got hurt. And this is more of the same. I wish the Russian-Ukraine thing wasn't going on, frankly, but this is whatever it is. It doesn't get into the details on how this happened, but dude, there's really good cyber threat actors on the Ukrainian side. There's really good ones on the Russian side. If they want to get in and disrupt your airline systems, they're going to do it, okay? The one thing that jumped to me that's interesting is, and again, for those who are, CCs in the UK, like, I'm an American, okay? I sound like Raleigh. This is a very deep cut, by the way, and get ready to drink, Space Akos. I sound like Raleigh Theodore Sakers from Stand By Your Van, the Sublime album that's very, very deep in the crates, if you will. But anyways, in one segment, he's like, I'm an American. Um, anyways, I'm an American, and we don't really use Telegram as main communication vehicles for businesses. And I just find it interesting that this Russian airline announced via its Telegram channel that there was a failure in airline information system. Service interruptions are possible. So basically, Telegram is the official communication vehicle. I feel like this would be like kind of similar to like Facebook, I guess. I don't really use Facebook either, but like official, like it's officially coming out on Facebook or officially coming out on Twitter. So when you hear about Telegram channels being hacked or stuff like that, don't think it's just like somebody hacking into like, your 8-guy annual camping trip and fishing expedition where you share memes and stuff like that, right? It could be like official channels. So just something interesting. But other than that, there's nothing else to see here, right? It's a business. It got disrupted. It's an act of war. Hacktivism is a thing. Okay. I guess the final thing I'll just talk about really quick from a GRC perspective. And by the way, you first timers that are here, I'm a big old GRC dork. I love myself some GRC. And that's why we have the GRC Mafia, so we can come out into the light and be one kind of community. When you're doing your threat modeling as a GRC person, on where's your risks coming from? What are the likelihood of different events happening? What could be the impact? Usually, we're looking at financially motivated cyber criminals in general, right? Manufacturing, healthcare, etc. But sometimes you got to look at nation states. Sometimes you got to look at like revenge, right? Like some scorn, like example, the astronomer CEO, right? The Coldplay thing, right? Like that whole situation. I saw a mashup of that of Fozzie Bear holding Miss Piggy, just really quickly. But imagine that astronomer guy, he got fired or whatever, so he holds Coldplay responsible and then hacks them out of revenge. So that's like another like kind of dynamic threat modeling technique. But hacktivism is a real one where you got to think about ideologically motivated. So maybe, like for example, maybe you didn't really have a concern of some group trying to attack you, right? Like when you're doing your threat modeling and what controls you should put in place. And then, the Israel and Gaza thing happens or the Russian Ukraine thing happens and you come out and you publicly stand or publicly align with one side or the other. Well, when you do that, the other side now becomes potential concerns, and you need to like update your risk modeling and think through: is this a problem for us? Do we need to, change where our controls are? Do we need to introduce new detections, etc.? So don't sleep on threat modeling. It is absolutely a dynamic, recurring activity, not something you do once a year at like a company retreat.
Naval Group denies breach. Hackers beg to differ. France's state-backed defense contractor, Naval Group, is denying claims it was hacked after a cybercriminal alleged they stole 1 terabyte of sensitive submarine data, including source code and classified technical documents. The threat group posted alleged proof samples and gave the company 72 hours to respond before promising a full leak. Naval Group says there are no signs of an IT systems breach, but they have launched an investigation.
All right. Well, I guess, the GRC gods are smiling down on us today. So all you blue teamers and red teamers, you can put your hands in your pocket and fuss up your brow and just let the GRC people have their moment in the sun here. So a defense contractor owned by the French government denies claims of cyber attack. All right, well, they better be damn sure about that. You see this a lot of times too. Like, no, we didn't get hacked. Go look at freaking who was it a couple months ago? Was it Oracle? Oracle got hacked. It was like everybody knew Oracle got hacked, and Oracle came out like, no, we didn't get hacked. Like gaslighting everybody, and then finally, like a month later, like we got hacked. So let's see. They had a classified CMS for submarines and frigates. Technical docs. All right, so a lot of great like intellectual property, sensitive, confidential information. So what did okay. All right, so they got hit with a ransomware attack, it looks like. This is obnoxious. So the naval, okay, so this company Naval Group got hacked. The hackers published 13 terabyte or 13 gigabytes of data as proof of claims, which this is a pretty standard process, right? Instead of just threatening you that we have your data, we'll leak a bunch of it so everyone can independently agree that we have your data. Then they set up a 72-hour message communication vehicle, and Naval Group did not connect with it. And then they came out and publicly said we weren't hacked. Like you can't just speak not being hacked into existence if you have been hacked. And their argument is that they have not detected any intrusion on their environment. All right. So I don't know if this is true in the story. By the way, you first timers, I don't research or prep these stories in advance, so you're watching me like analyze this in real time. Here's what I think about this. There's two things that could have happened. One, they really got it, and the Naval Group is literally just saying, F it, like we're just gonna let it fly and see what happens. Two, the hackers actually got an older data dump or data set, and they're trying to position it as it is a recent current data set and trying to get the Naval Group to pay for it. Okay. Third, the Naval Group is saying we didn't detect any intrusions. I got to tell you, first and foremost, this is one of the all-time most difficult and challenging things in cybersecurity, and one of the things people have to like come to accept and wrap their head around. You can't prove a negative, right? So right now, this Naval Group is saying we have not been hacked. We have detected no intrusions. The reality is, like, you could have been hacked and you just don't know it because your controls suck. You could have been hacked and you just don't know it because your detections are poor. You could have been hacked and your team that is researching it, right? The CEO of Naval Group isn't clacking on the keyboard looking through logs. Somebody is, right? Either a third party or someone in IT or someone in cyber. Okay. Maybe that person isn't super great at their job and doesn't know how to find that information. All of those things are potentially true, which means that you could have been attacked and you just don't know it, right? You can't prove a negative. It's like saying, like Russia attacked lots of companies through the SolarWinds attack. Go Google SolarWinds attack afterwards. And the only way to be certain that we rooted Russia out would be to replace all the hardware, which is incredibly expensive and not going to happen, right? So anyways, yeah, we'll see about this. I definitely think that the Naval Group had decided they're not going to pay the ransom, so F this threat actor group, and they're just going to ride with it. So the negative thing is, if you're the French military, it sounds like your French frigates and your French submarines are, the blueprints are out there now. Straw Hat Sec says IDS and IDS and IPS, intrusion detection, intrusion prevention system bypassing is not difficult. Yeah. Anyways, long story short, they got hacked. By the way, this is a great opportunity. If you are doing tabletop exercises, this story right here is a pretty good one because you can point out to your executives, hey, listen, this company straight up said, we didn't get hacked, even though there's evidence to support they did get hacked. And I'm not saying that you tell your business or your executives that this is the right way to handle it. I'm just saying you could use this as a scenario on, a decision that could be made, right? You could pay the ransom. You could tell the threat actors to publicly F off. You could take a full page ad in the New York Times out and say that you'll offer $1 million to anyone who can bring the criminals to justice, right? Like Mel Gibson in that Ransom movie, right? You could do a million different options. This is just another one, and it's a case study that you can use to help make your tabletop exercises more realistic.
Dating app breach exposes thousands of women's pictures. A dating app marketed as a safer space for women was hacked, exposing images of tens of thousands of users. I'll pause for the irony. The app, confirmed a breach that compromised 13,000 user-submitted selfies and 59,000 public images from posts and messages. The attack targeted a legacy storage system holding data from before February of 2024, despite the app's promise to delete verification photos immediately.
Yep. That's the number one thing here. And to me, this is the thing that pisses me off the most. Listen, we talked about this yesterday, okay? This social media app is for women to be able to communicate with each other about men. That way a woman doesn't go out with some psychopath, okay? I don't want to get into, please, I don't want to devolve this into, toxic men and relationships and all this other stuff. Just objectively, it is what it is, right? It's this app that is for women sharing things. I didn't know it was a dating app. I thought it was more of a private, closed circle social media app. But anyways, the point here is this app got breached, legacy systems, so software development lifecycle. You failed at that, IT, over at T. Okay? Second of all, and more importantly, they told their users when you submitted your ID for verification, they would delete it after your account's verified, and they did not. That is a complete... to me, that's the biggest problem, right? Like, obviously, this is bad for all of these women whose information got doxxed. And, like, it's their ID with their picture, their social sometimes, driver's license number, street address, height, color, like all the things, right? So that's really, really bad from an impact perspective. But looking at this, basically, if I was the CISO of this organization, I would be rounding somebody up right now. And, basically, I'd be with HR. And I would be like, this isn't going to work. Like, this is a resume generating event. And it's quite possible that I would also be on my way out, because this is a one-time thing, right? Like, when you set it up, when you set the site up, when you set up the account creation process, when you set all of it up, the decision there was a question, how do we verify users? How do we make sure men don't get on this platform? Right? Because to me, that's why they did it, right? Is to prevent men from, like, basically getting in there and effing with it. So, we'll have women post, proof of life, like Reddit photos of themselves with their ID. Done. But that introduces a huge risk. Why do we have all this incredibly sensitive information? We should get rid of it. What, do we need it? No, we only need it to verify them. Then get rid of it afterwards. Done. So, there's no question in my mind that this was a thoughtful decision made at some point. This isn't like a slight alteration of the privacy policy because something. This is a deliberate choice made by leadership. And I guarantee you, I've never been on the app before, but I guarantee you, at account creation, if the website's still up, it explicitly states that this submission of this information is for verification only, and that they will not retain it. I guarantee you there was a promise made. And, dude, this company might actually be suffering a class action lawsuit the more I think about it. This is egregious. And to not delete it is the most obnoxious part, because you and I, Darlin Jefferson, Terrence Tech, and Ronell Wood, we've all deleted information before. Hell, some of us have deleted information by accident and had to work into the weekend because, oops, right? To me, this happened. To me, this is just lazy, frankly. I don't know if these tech startups, man, these let's move fast and break things. They're typically, in my experience, it's typically a CEO with some money, or it's investors who have put a CEO in place, and they're trying to operate on a super lean budget with a few developers, potentially outsourced, which, again, I don't have a problem with that, but potentially outsourced, okay? And now there's a disconnect between leadership and the business saying, hey, listen, we need these things done. And then the developer team going, yep, we've done it. And the business side can't verify because how are they going to? They don't know where the databases are. I would, so my current hot take on this is that this right here, this app had an outsourced development team, and there was a disconnect between the business side and the development team on delivering on this very specific requirement. That's my hot take. We can look at it later.
Scattered Spider escalates attacks on VMware ESXi. Scattered Spider is back in action, targeting VMware ESXi hypervisors at U.S. companies in the retail, airline, transportation, and insurance sectors. According to Google's threat intelligence group, the group continues to rely on highly convincing social engineering, not software exploits, to manipulate help desk staff and gain access to high-value systems. In some cases, the attackers impersonate IT administrators to hijack privileged accounts and move quickly from access to data theft and ransomware within hours, something we've seen many times before.
All right, yeah, Scattered Spider. Scattered Spider, they move quick. They move quick. They're young. They're very, very capable, okay? And they like straight cash, homie.
Straight cash, homie.
I am not a pen tester. I'm a GRC card carrying member, okay? But I have talked to pen testers. Tyler Ramsby, for example, and calling help desk or calling anyone vishing, which, by the way, like, I'm borderline on the fence about using the term vishing. I really hate the appropriation of ishing with anything in front of it. Specifically, quishing. I literally loathe quishing. But anyways, that's a side topic. Calling humans and getting them to do things is super effective. I mean, look at, dude, in India and in Cambodia or Vietnam, there's entire enterprises that's their business, is calling my Aunt Dorothea and getting her to give them money, right? So Scattered Spider's all up in it. Now, I don't know how the VMware ESXi is getting in there. Just so everybody knows, VMware ESXi is a hypervisor chassis, which basically means it's like the big brain server that holds all the virtual servers. So if you can take over the VMware ESXi chassis, it's like owning all the computers. Like, the easiest like metaphor I can come up with right now is, imagine like stealing a car is like hacking one operating system, right? Stealing a car is like taking over my laptop. If you hack and take over an entire parking garage, then you have all the cars, right? Again, it's not a perfect metaphor, but you get the idea, right? That's what the ESXi hypervisor chassis is. It's like the garage full of cars, right? It's not a car by itself, but it's all the infrastructure and support for facilitating other cars, or, you know, computers, file servers, workstations, etc. And Scattered Spider is going bananas on it. Obviously, because if you can take over all the virtual machines in an environment, it's much more damaging than just taking over a single machine, right? So they'll pretend to be IT, and then they'll get the person to change the employee's AD password to get access. This is insane. So I guess the attack technique is, I call Alfredo Togolo, and I'm like, hey, Alfredo, it's Jerry from IT. We've had some issues with hackers, so I'm going to need you to change your password. We can't do it right now through the normal systems because it's not taking. So I'm literally having to call every employee. It's the worst. I'm going to be here all week. Oh, my God, Alfredo, can you help me just change your password? What would you like it to be? I want it to be, straight cash, homie. #1 exclamation point. Sure. Thanks, Alfredo Togolo. Straight cash, homie. 1 exclamation point. I'll see you later. I'm going to call the next person on my list. And then Scattered Spider's like, bah! Just attacking all the things with this new cred. It's unbelievable that this is effective, but it is, which brings me to my next point. Educate your end users. GRC Mafia, where you at? Like, this is right up in our wheelhouse. Educate your end users. IT's not going to call you and have you change your password. You should never, like, just here's the rule of thumb. Nobody should ever know your password. Just tell them that. Tell your end users that. IT shouldn't know it. CEO shouldn't know it. Your kids shouldn't know it. No one should know it. No one should know your password, period, full stop. Also, can we get off passwords and get on passkeys for crying out loud? You're killing me, Smalls. Even if you had passkeys, passwords would still work because they're not. Just because you run a passkey doesn't mean you've disabled passwords. Just in full disclosure, I got a video coming out with Brews and Hacks on passkeys. It's coming out next week while we're at Black Hat. Holla! All right, let's keep going.
Huge thanks to today's episode sponsor, DropZone AI. Let me tell you about DropZone AI. They're revolutionizing how security teams work. Companies like CBTS and Zapier use their AI to investigate alerts automatically, freeing up analysts for the work that really matters. We're talking 40-minute investigations done in 3 minutes. You can meet the DropZone team at Black Hat in Startup City, or just head to dropzone.ai for a self-guided demo. That's dropzone.ai. Trust me, this is the future of security operations.
All right. Hey, and quick shout out to Space Tacos. For those who don't know, we have like a little game that we've started doing here. Obviously, we're not getting hammered at work, but if I make a 90s reference, as I'm want to do, you drink. It's a drinking game, okay? So for those, I'll drink my coffee. It's a drinking game. But if I make a 90s reference, Space Tacos is definitely on top of it. She's, I didn't even catch the "You're Killing Me, Smalls" lot one, but she nailed it. So love it, love it, love it. Okay, guys. Hey, let's do this. I got a couple ad reads, and then we're going to do Tidbits Tuesday. Yeah, Alfredo Tagolo. Do at space, and Space Taco's name will come up.
Just become best friends. Yep.
Hold on, wait a minute. Chris Garcia with the super chat. Jerry wanted to say I got a job offer for an information security specialist at my school district yesterday. Wanted to say thanks. Love Team SC. Well, Chris Garcia, blue badge. May I tell you?
I came in like a wrecking ball.
Oh my God, so good, so good. Thank you for sharing. Where's my wrecking ball? Here. In the mobile studio, I can't pull this up easily, but for you, Chris Garcia, we're giving you the full Monty here. Come on, what is, yeah, there we go. There we go, Chris.
I came in like a wrecking ball.
Nice job, dude. Super pumped for you. Congratulations. Go crush it. I got a video on the channel on how to destroy your first 90 days. I hope you check it out. And then I hope you just stomp mud holes in that job's and keep crushing it, dude. Love it. Yes. All right, check it out. All right, guys, I want to say thank you to all of you for being here today. I hope you're getting value from the show. If you are, hit the like button. I never really asked for that, but why not? Let's do it today. Guys, let's talk about the stream sponsors. Barricade Cyber, thank you. Antisyphon, thank you. Threat Locker, thank you. Let's talk about Delete Me for a hot minute, guys. Delete Me. Right now, the headlines are chock full of data breaches and regulatory rollbacks, making us all vulnerable, but you can do something about it. Delete Me is here to make it easy, quick, and safe to remove your personal data online. Want an easier way to deal with data breaches? Get Delete Me. The fact is, we're all at risk. How many times have you gotten your email or a letter saying your data has been breached? It's unsettling. It actually really is unfortunate. But the good news is Delete Me can help. As someone with an active online presence, privacy is really important to me because I worry about my children, about my wife. I like to, dude, I'm a big community outgoing person. I want to help all the people crush their cyber goals. But I do like the ability to have my own private space when I want it, and my home address is part of that. So I don't want that out there. Data brokers selling it. Take control of your data. Keep your private life private by signing up for Delete Me now at a special discount for our listeners. Get 20% off your Delete Me plan when you go to joindeleteme.com/simplycyber and use promo code simplycyber at checkout. The only way to get 20% off is to go to joindeleteme.com/simplycyber and enter code simplycyber at checkout. That's joindeleteme.com/simplycyber, code simplycyber. Also want to say thank you so very much to Flair and their Flair Academy, guys. We talked about Antisyphon's Blue Team Summit. That's in August. If you'd like to get the learning train started sooner, may I introduce you to the Burglar's Guide to AppSec Testing, Stealing Secrets Like a Hobbit. That's right, we're talking Lord of the Rings vibes. Kevin Johnson, CEO of Secure Ideas, and an absolute phenomenal guy. I can tell you right now, if you get a chance to see Kevin Johnson speak at a conference, make it a priority. He'll be teaching at August 13th virtually for free how to do web AppSec testing and steal secrets. You know, the info stealers, the session tokens, the cookies. Kevin's going to show you all those things. So if you want to get a skill in the offensive side of things, or if you're a defender and you want to understand how to protect from this, you got to check this out. I'm going to drop a link in chat, but you can go to simplycyber.io/flare to learn more about it. Thank you, stream sponsors, and thank you, all of you. Very kind of James McQuiggan with the 20 gifted subs. Very kind of Chris Garcia with the super chat. I've got a milestone chat right now. I'm going to say, I love #Team SC. There we go. I'm going to send it. 30 months from me. All right. Holla. All right, guys. Every day of the week has a special segment, and Tuesdays, it's Tidbits Tuesday. So here's my Tidbits Tuesday. I don't know how much this will vibe with everybody, but I've got Black Hat coming up next week. And actually, maybe you guys will like this. So I have Black Hat coming up next week. Mrs. Auger's flying out with me. I'm going to be doing some filming and stuff there. But here's my Tidbits Tuesday. I am terrified of not delivering, like, I don't want to say I piss excellence, but like, I don't want to be the reason a project fails. I would be abhorred if I was the reason a project failed. So whenever I go to travel with my gear, I always pack all my gear. Okay, so over the weekend, I packed all my gear in 2 containers that I have to take to FedEx today. I took all the gear and then I put it on that side of the room. Then yesterday, I unpacked the gear like I was in Las Vegas, and I set it up for the 2 different types of shots that I have to take. I have to do 2 shots. I have to do like a run and gun thing, and then I have to do like a long form corporate style interview thing. Okay, I set it all up and walked through the execution, and because I did that, I discovered that there was an attachment that I was missing. There was a cable I was missing, and I love it. So this type of prep gets me excited. But here's the Tidbits Tuesday, because I want to test everything. And for those who don't have kids, maybe this won't resonate, but literally, I interviewed my son, Callan, and I'll be interviewing my son, Grayson, later today. And I asked them 5 questions for themselves to ask their future self. So questions like, Callan was like, my favorite thing to do right now is X, Y, and Z. What's your favorite thing to do? So the idea is that I filmed this. It's a time capsule. Nadine, Mrs. Auger, Nadine, and I can go back and watch it and see our 10-year-old son, and see what was important to him. But then when he's 24 years old, because I'm a psychopath, when he's 24 years old, I'm actually going to run the questions back as if the 10-year-old version of Callan is conducting the interview with 24-year-old version Callan. And then 24-year-old Callan's going to answer those questions, and I'm going to splice them all together. Trust me, it'll be worth it in the long run. So do you guys do anything with your kids around making heirloom things? Dude, I have nothing of my mother and my dad growing up. So I'm not just taking pictures. I'm making full documentaries up in here. Let's get our la la la's on. All right. Let's keep cooking, y'all. James McQuiggan at 35,000 feet.
Did we just become best friends? Yep.
With Mrs. Auger and everyone from Team SC who will be there at Hacker Summer Camp. We will support your team and Gophers to help get out any way we can. That's an awesome video to make with the kids. Yeah, thank you very much, James McQuiggan. I appreciate it. Hey, I'm not going to disclose the link because it is private, right? Obviously, this is like one of those private things. But I will show you because I'm insane. I actually made a thumbnail because it's on YouTube. Here's the thumbnail for that video. I'll make the Callum one as well later today. Okay, all right. So anyways, let's keep cooking here.
Black suit down, chaos emerges. First it was Royal, then Black Suit, and now an even newer rebrand has emerged for the ransomware group dubbed Chaos. The update came just as law enforcement seized Black Suit's Tor-based leak site in a global takedown called Operation Checkmate, replacing the site with the logos of 17 agencies and Bitdefender. Cisco Talos now links Chaos to the same operators, citing near-identical ransom notes, attack methods, and encryption tactics, all signs pointing to the group already being back in business.
All right. The Glenn Ross of threat actors always be closing, always be back in business. Yeah, so whatever. We got another rebranding. Dude, it's kind of frustrating them rebranding, but like at the same time, who gives a damn? Shout out to the law enforcement.
Regulators, mount up. It was a clear black night, a clear white moon. Warren G was
Yeah,
on the streets,
get
trying
up
to
in here, Nate Dogg and Warren G. Drink space tacos, am I right? All right, so whatever, law enforcement took it over, and let's see, Cisco Talos released a. So hey, listen, again, if you know me for a minute, then you know what I'm about to do. But like CC and Stephanie, some of the new first timers, I don't promote or condone cyber threat actor activity. But as a student of cybersecurity, as someone who loves just like elegance and quality and orchestration, I will hat tip from time to time threat actors, right? Especially threat actors that are implementing GRC controls. Okay. Black Suit, their site gets seized, and shortly thereafter, Chaos Ransomware emerges on the scene. It sounds like that this threat actor group had business continuity planning in place.
That Hansel's so hot right now.
Yes, sir. All right. So Cisco Talos is a super dope kind of security research threat intelligence group. I've actually interviewed a bunch of people over at Cisco Talos. I really like those guys. So they wrote this write-up on Chaos Ransomware, which is basically Black Suit. What I'm going to say is I'm going to drop a link in chat right now for those who are interested. Black Suit was no joke. Black Suit Ransomware was causing massive headaches, especially for small and medium-sized businesses. So if that's you, you may want to check this out, because just because they rebrand doesn't mean that they're not going to be equally effective. They are a ransomware as a service threat actor group, which means they have a lot of affiliates, which just means that they can spread really wide, and their TTPs aren't going to be that great because it's all sorts of different people doing all sorts of things. Let's see. They're promoting in Russian-speaking criminal forums. Yeah, dude, look at this. It attacks Windows, Linux, NAS, ESXi. Like, it's equal opportunity threat actors. They'll get whatever they want. So basically, how would you know if you got impacted? If the file extension is .chaos, you're screwed. And by the way, that's like a quick little note here. Typically, the threat actors, they know it, so they can choose it themselves. A file extension is nothing special, okay? So if you're encrypting data, you can make the file extension whatever you want. It could be a dot middle finger. It doesn't have to be 3 letters. It could be dot middle finger. It could be dot DJ BSEC is back again. Guess who's back? DJ BSEC, say it again. Like that could be the file extension, okay? So these threat actor groups know it, so then they'll do dot chaos, dot Loki, dot whatever, and it'll kind of like be it's basically how security professionals can talk about the same threat actor group easily, right? So they've done dot chaos themselves, okay? Oh, by the way, was that Eminem reference a 90s one? It might be. So drink. Thank you, Priceless Pancakes. All right. The TLDR here is it would be in everyone's benefit to spend 10 minutes today researching this chaos ransomware group, because, you know, basically they're coming on the scene and there's something to be mindful of. As I always say, level 1, like think of your security defenses as like levels or tiers, okay? So tier 1, level 1, basic cyber hygiene. It doesn't matter if Black Suit rebrands to Chaos, rebrands to, you know, Fubar, rebrands to, you know, 8-bit Nintendo. It doesn't, or it rebrands to Tamagotchi. It doesn't matter. Level 1 defenses are the same no matter what. You have nothing, so get something, right? Firewalls, network segmentation might even be level 2. But like, my point is, get the basics in. Don't sweat. Don't get sweaty about, oh, it's chaos ransomware. We're gonna have to change everything now. Like 2FA, you know, conditional access, passkeys if you can, educate your end users, right? Logging, all the things. Once you get more mature as an information security program, right? Network segmentation, firewalls, you got 24/7 SOC, all these things. Once you start getting up into those spaces, then you can start doing custom, you know, TTPs for certain threat actor groups. As far as becoming educated on chaos ransomware here, it's good to know because they're a threat actor group that's coming on the scene and they're going to be swinging. You may or may not get hit, okay? Imagine, for example, just as a metaphor, imagine chaos ransomware. They put a bunch of pool balls in a pillowcase, they put a blindfold on, and then they start running through Disney World swinging the pool ball, a pillowcase full of pool balls and blindfolds on. You don't know who's going to get hit. Like, they don't know who they're going to hit, right? So, you know, you kind of want to make sure that you've got, I forget where I was going with that metaphor. I had something there for a minute, but just basically want to make sure that you've got your basic cyber fundamentals in place, and then you could start elevating past that.
Beware of new malware attack. A new info stealer called Shuyal, that's Shuyal, is targeting 19 browsers, including privacy-focused ones like Tor, while quietly gathering system data and stealing credentials. Researchers say it uses aggressive evasion techniques, disables Task Manager, and deletes its own traces after exfiltrating data through Telegram bots. Now, distribution methods are still unknown, but like other stealers, it could be a precursor to larger attacks like ransomware or business email compromise.
Wow, this thing can attack 19 different web browsers. I can't name 19 web browsers, right? I bet you, like, if you put $1,000 in front of me and said name 19 web browsers, I don't know if I could do it. Now, if they're saying like, you know, Chrome 17, Chrome 17.1, Chrome 17.2, Chrome 17.3, Chrome 18. If those are like 5 different browsers, sure, I can name them. But like, you know, like Opera, Brave, Comet, like individual ones, yikes. Okay, so anyways, there's info stealing malware that can basically tear a bunch of stuff out of your browsers, which is why you should never save your passwords in browsers, by the way. Please. Let's see here. Yeah, so they steal. I mean, it's a fully featured info stealer. It steals all the saved information, anything that's copied to clipboard, gets stolen, and then off it goes. The question is, how do you get initially infected? That's the real question here, right? This is like, dude, if you install really good malware, of course it's going to work. The trick is, how do you prevent it from getting installed on your machine? Let's see. Yeah, this story starts on third base here. Like you're already owned, and it's talking about how it works and everything. So I guess EDR and a bit of hope is your strategy with this one. There are some IOCs or indicators of compromise that you can use here to help protect your organization. This particular stealer will use PowerShell to compress a folder into the temp directory to hold the data until it's exfilled via Telegram. So if you can detect PowerShell writing to the temp directory, if you can detect, basically data being sent out to Telegram, which, that could hide in the normal noise. Yeah. It does say that it modifies the disable task manager registry value. I would leave that to Wade Wells, but I mean, to me, that's a pretty simple, straightforward detection. Is registry val of disable task manager modified? Yes, no. If yes, then detect an alert. Yeah. This is a fully featured piece of malware and info stealer. You just want to be careful, okay? Justin Gold here is saying that hybrid analysis did not reveal how attackers are distributing the Shu Yao stealer, though cybercriminals have distributed other stealers through various means, including posts on social media, phishing campaigns. Moreover, stealers often a prelude to ransomware attacks or BEC. Yeah. You know what? Just really quick, you can make great malware. It still needs to infect the user. I will tell you that right now, one amazing attack vector that I have seen, and it keeps surging, is like AI tools. Like, hey, VO3 on Google is $200 a month. Here's a cracked version of it. Hey, like here's a cracked version of Claude. Hey, I broke into whatever, check it out. Oh, hey, like here's the new Assassin's Creed game, right? Like cracked stolen software is like a great way to get people to install and then not want to say anything because they don't want to admit that any wrongdoing. Of course, your mileage may vary. You'd much rather have like a banking executive install this malware than like my 10-year-old.
Paper cut exploit in need of Band-Aid. CISA is warning that hackers are exploiting a high-severity vulnerability in PaperCut NGMF print management software that can lead to remote code execution. The flaw was patched in June of 2023, but CISA recently added it to its known exploited vulnerabilities catalog, giving federal agencies until August 18th to patch it. The software is used by more than 100 million people across 70,000 organizations.
All right, we are running low on time here, so CISA delivering on their mission to help protect United States, both public and private sectors. This paper cut is a print management software vulnerability. It's being exploited actively by threat actors. What? Let's see. Oh, gross, dude. This is a 2023 vulnerability. That's nasty, dude. You nasty. You're musty. That's a term I learned last fall. You musty. And if you've ever heard the term musty before, good on you. I had to ask what that meant. But let's see here. Yeah, 2023, dude. Does it say what kind of vulnerability or? Okay, so they're showing that there's only 1,000 vulnerable services running right now on the internet, with the majority of them being in Africa and North America. what's frustrating is like what printers are vulnerable to this? Like all printers? What are we doing here? How do you patch this thing? Okay, hold on one second. This story is like kind of busted. Like what? Like here's my thing. There's 1,000 vulnerable services like or systems like that. That's not nothing, but like that's like not front page news. I mean, CISA added it to the known exploited vulnerability catalog, so like good on you. But so listen, when we are doing likelihood and impact as a GRC professional, some of the things we want to know is what has to happen for this thing to get exploited, and then when it is exploited, what can we do? Okay, this particular one can allow an attacker to alter security settings or execute arbitrary code, which is really bad. Basically, arbitrary code means it's going to reach out to a C2 node and pull down a bigger payload and then execute it. So that's common, all right? And like, you know, write to the registry, do persistence, whatever. It says if the target is an admin and has a current login session, excuse me. And it typically requires tricking an admin into clicking a maliciously crafted link. So, dude, this particular vulnerability requires multiple things to be in place. It has to be an admin. The admin has to fall for a fish. The admin has to have a current login session. And the technology has to be vulnerable. And if all of these things, then the threat actor can take it over. And, oh, by the way, there's only 1,000 of these instances on the internet right now. Like, this is one of those ones where, like, if you don't know, like, with all due respect, okay, if you are not well versed in, like, cybersecurity, you might look at this and be like, oh my God, it's actively being exploited. Patch now. You gotta patch it. And you should patch it if you are vulnerable. But a lot of things, like the likelihood value is not high or critical at this point because multiple things have to happen if it even exists in your environment. Dude, there's like hundreds of thousands. There's like over 100,000 endpoints at like Booz Allen Hamilton's internal network. One business. Now, like, there's 8 million people in like LA County, right? Like, we're talking millions and millions of endpoints in the United States, right? And then there's 1,000 in the world that are vulnerable to this. Like, I'm not getting out of bed for this one. Have a good one, Jenny Housley.
Starlink scam bright. A U.S. senator is calling on SpaceX to crack down on scammers using its Starlink internet service to run large-scale cyber fraud operations across Southeast Asia. Human rights groups and UN reports have repeatedly linked Starlink to scam compounds that rely on its portability and independence from national telecom networks. With sightings increasing and usage reportedly doubling in some regions, the senator is demanding answers on what SpaceX is doing to stop the abuse.
Okay. Okay, dude. Like, this isn't a political show, all right? And I appreciate Maggie Hassan, senator from the state of New Hampshire. Live free or die. Am I right, Senator Hassan? And by the way, that's the state of New Hampshire's motto. I'm not just like coming up with like a Die Hard movie reference really quick, okay? What is SpaceX doing about scammers because of Starlink? Guys, please. Can we, like, to me, this is political, okay? Like, I get that scammers are attacking our citizens, okay? And I get that they're using Starlink because that's how they get the internet. But, like, listen. Like, why is Senator Hassan not going after, like, AT&T or Verizon or literally any other ISP in the world? Is it because who owns Starlink? Plus, like, dude, maybe Senator Hassan isn't sure how the internet works, But like, and I'm not even throwing shade. It just, maybe she doesn't know. But like, there's at layer 4, when you encrypt it using TLS, you don't see what the data is. So how are you going to what are you going to start policing and enforcing? Like, oh, hey, like, even though you're a developing country and you use Starlink to deliver educational resources to the children of this country so they can level up and bring prosperity to the next generation, because there's a faction of threat actors over here that may or may not be attacking my Aunt Dorothea down the Cape, no one gets it. Like, how, like, this is, to me, this is like so, you're so like not connected to the reality here. And again, I'm sure Senator Hassan is not an IT specialist. She's not a network engineer. She probably had constituents in her state get victimized and they want answers and they want them now, like a JG Wentworth commercial drink. And this is how she's doing it. Listen, this is not, unless I'm mistaken, Starlink doesn't have a threat actor package. You don't get to buy high-speed fiber internet if you can, position yourself as a cyber criminal threat actor. Flaming Donkey doesn't get preferred rates because we're committing crime. Starlink is a business that delivers internet service, period. And listen, it sucks that threat actors are abusing and scamming people, but that's not, I'm not even a huge Elon fan. My point is, it's not Starlink. Starlink is delivering a commodity service. So if someone transports something malicious, like drugs or something, on an airplane, do we shut Delta down? Like, if they, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, what are we doing here? It just I'm sorry. It just annoys me. Okay. So I guess, like, here's my thing. When I see stuff like this, my immediate thought is, like, what is the absolute best outcome for Senator Hassan in this one? Like, does she think that the best outcome is that somehow Starlink is going to be able to implement some type of filtering service where it is invading people's privacy to analyze the communication data to determine what is threat actor activity and what is non-threat actor activity, and then filter on that? So we're talking about a massive surveillance program. That's like the ideal outcome here. It's annoying. Like, to me, it's so tone deaf. And honestly, this is part of my problem. Like, I get it. The U.S. federal government is a huge, huge business, probably the largest business in the world. It's complicated. There's a lot of nuances and stuff. But it's usually around technology. Time and time again, you see these elder statespeople asking questions that are so, like, just off the mark. Like, look at when they brought in Mark Zuckerberg and they tried grilling him and they were asking him, like, how the internet works and stuff like that. It's these guys have staffers. I'm sorry. What an unfortunate story to end the show on, because I'm all sorts of frothed up right now.
Spicy.
All right, guys, let's cook here. All right, everybody. I apologize. Hey, you first-timers, please, I hope you had a great show, first-timers. I usually don't get all frothed up at the end. I hope you had a great show. This was episode 929 of Simply Cyber's Daily Cyber Threat Brief podcast. I was your host, Dr. Gerald Auger. Now, don't go anywhere, because we're going to be doing jaw-jacking with Eric Taylor, Chief Forensics Officer at Barricade Cyber Solutions, in just a minute. And then at 9:30 a.m., we've got Simply Offensive, Philip Wiley Show, Season 1, Episode 5, talking about proactive security with Rob Allen. If you've been enjoying Philip Wiley, you're going to love this episode. And by the way, I have seen the metrics. People are loving themselves some Philip Wiley. Definitely one of the higher performing shows on the media group. So I'm glad you guys are getting value from all of that. One final thing to share with everybody. Tomorrow night, Daniel Lowry After dark. We're getting spicy. We're getting a little, if I may. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? If I may. Daniel Lowry and I looking at infographics. Yes, sir. So if you're looking to have a good time, come by tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern time. My goodness. We are after dark. I might have to wear my jammies to that one. I'll definitely have a beer with me if that's okay with Daniel Lowry. All right, guys, I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. You have been filled up on all of your cyber, top cyber news stories, as well as all of the content that you need to know about in order to go forth and crush it. Have a great day. Guys, be well, and until next time, stay secure. Ever wonder what it takes to break into cybersecurity? Join us every weekday for Jawjacking, where industry experts answer your burning questions about the cybersecurity field. Live, unfiltered, and totally free. Let's level up together. It's time for some Jawjacking.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Now it's the time for you to ask any question that you have, whether about today's stories, other stories, something that has not even been covered. We have about 20 minutes to kind of roll through. I almost made a Black Hills faux bar there, or food bar there. Get some music on, but we have about 20 minutes to kind of go through questions really quickly. If you're new or forget, help me quickly see your question by putting a Q : in the beginning, so that way I can quickly find it. I know it's Tisbits Tuesday, and I always try to bring something to you. And this is one of those things that the trend. I was 0 days old when I learned. So a lot of people have the, your inbox rules for Outlook, set to go to certain folders. Well, that doesn't work for me because then I miss a bunch of emails that I have to respond to, right? I'm in incident response. So my inbox has always been messy, and I never really mess with it. But when you go up there to the sweep icon, there's that bottom option. Again, I never really mess with it, but you can set anything that's older than 10 days to go to a certain folder. And I'm like, oh, now I can, I still see my important emails from the clients and stuff that I have to respond to, and it's not getting dropped into another folder, but I can help try to keep my inbox from getting inflated with so much. Like right now I have just over 4,000 inbox or emails, and that's not even talking about all my subfolders. So definitely go in and take a look at that. One of my things this year is trying to clean up my mailbox and be a little bit more functional. So if you didn't know about that, definitely take a look at it, and it is changing some of my workflow. So hopefully that'll help you as well. Let's see. Carrie, not a question. Then why'd you put a Q? I'm just messing with you. I did get a job through a local temp company to help custodians clean the local school. Hey, dude. I mean, we've talked about it many times. Many times, good man. Yeah, sometimes you just got to take the job that you can get before you get the job that you want. There's no shame in that at all. Just keep your head up, keep learning, keep grinding. You'll get there. David P., where do I submit for questions or to speak at CyberCon? So David, that will be if I'm not mistaken, the CFPs will come out right after DEF CON and all that. Oh, sorry. So Jerry just stated he submitted the link in chat. So definitely go look there. I thought it was going to be after DEF CON and all, the whole hacker summer camp. But you can submit now. Hot off the presses. Let's see. Since Jerry's in a green room, I'm not sure why it's a question, but hey, I love you, Angler from Computer Cyber KW. So people showing you some love, Jerry. From Robert, how are you today? Doing well, my friend. Doing well. Hope you are as well. From Ronell Wood, should I add Try Hack Me Hack the Box and Let's Defend to my resume? And if so, how do I format it? Going for SOC analyst roles, and I have home labs. Me personally, as a business owner, I know I want to see that in your continuing education. That's where I want to see it. And I personally like to see it toward the top above your experience. To me personally, experience should be below that. Your mileage may vary, but when I am looking at stuff, because we always here, I look for talent and drive versus certifications. You can get the certification if you have the drive and the talent. You going through all those steps and you're doing your continuing education, that shows me that you have the drive. And me personally, I am more willing to take a chance on somebody that's doing that versus, all the experience. Not saying the experience doesn't have value, but that's, to me personally, to quickly weed out people, I prefer that at the top. Let's see, anything new? From Raymond Cruz, follow up from Friday's jaw jack-in. What's the reasoning for TOTP not being considered MFA? Is it because password and TOT fulfillment is the same? Okay. TOTP can be used anywhere, and TOTP can be abused everywhere. I cannot legally say the names, I don't think, but there are many MSP tools and portals that if you have the username and password, I can literally put that into Burp Suite and brute force that TOTP code. Typically it's a four-digit code, sometimes 6-digit, depending on how it's coded. I have brute forced my way into so many tenants because of leaked credentials. That's why it's not an MFA. So, and the bad part about it is the receiving end did not see the logs, right? So you literally go through brute force it and you're like, hey, guess what? I just compromised 40, 50, 100 accounts with all these leaked, and I've been hammering on your system for the past 7 days. So do you have any takes on XSS being taken down? So preliminary, no, but I would like to note that the quote unquote admin of XSS also ran exploit.in, I believe, or whatever, the exploit form as well. And a lot of the mods there also run ramp for you, which is purely driven for ransomware. So there is a lot of communication in the CTI space that the guy that they arrested was not the main admin for XSS and exploit portal. So okay, yeah, Jerry, right after this, come right up. But yeah, I've always been an advocate to say that if you don't take down the complete executive team of whatever platform, it's just going to pop back up. We've seen it time and time again. So Jerry does have something he wants to come up and talk about real quick, so I will give him the floor.
Hey everybody, really quick, I just want to remind everyone that tonight, July 29th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, we have an absolute free community practical skills workshop. This is a new series that we're doing. I'm trying to get better at reminding people about it, but we're just starting it and I've got a lot going on. Tonight, you can learn how to hack Active Directory certificate services with Ryan Yeager. This will be a live 1-hour walkthrough workshop, deep hands-on technical and practical experience. If you want to come check it out, I'll drop a link in chat right now. It is 8 p.m. It will not be recorded. You have to be there. If you can't make it, that's okay. We'll be doing this workshop a couple times a year, but this is part of the new Community Practical Cyber Workshop series. We used to call it the Lunch and Learn, but we wanted to disassociate with the lunch term, since lunch is relative to what time zone you're in and stuff like that. So now it's just Community Practical Cyber Workshops. Come on down tonight at 8 o'clock p.m. Thank you. And back to Eric.
Thanks so much, Jerry. All right, where did we leave off? Got that one answered. Got that one answered. So from Space Taco, what's up, Eric Taylor? Hey, what's going on, Space Tacos? Space Tacos, have we ever met? I do know we had a meeting last week. The entire, I guess most of the Barricade team will be at Black Hills. Have we ever met? I will be flying in for about a day. There's a couple of things that I got to be there, but if we haven't met, let's met if you're going to be at Wild Wild Hackin' Fest. What's a skill that you, with all of your experience, still like to learn? To be honest with you, there's Python that I want to learn. I've been getting into it a little bit more because we are building. So those who've been around for a while know I'm a huge advocate for SANS. Sorry that it's as expensive as all get out. I don't like the price either, but unfortunately I don't set the price. And while I'm going through a lot of different stuff and learning new techniques and being reminded about, because like the course I'm taking now is pretty rudimentary and basic, but there are all these little nuggets like, oh, I didn't think about that. Oh, I didn't think about that when I'm working in investigation. So like, I'm like 99% of the stuff's like, yeah, I know. But I'm like, oh, that little nugget. But anyway, so I'm always looking for those little nuggets. And I'm looking at automation. It doesn't have to be full on large language model AI stuff, but having PowerShell and learning some Python, because I want to run some Linux servers to do pure automation. Move things around, do just a whole bunch of stuff that just takes a lot of manual time to do and babysit. I've been talking to Justin about it and stuff like that, so he kind of knows. But yeah, that's the stuff that I'm always looking like how to make the workflows of the organization so that way we can scale, right? So that's where my head is at, and will probably be for the next 2 years the way it's going. But yeah, that's kind of where my headspace is at these days. Because I literally want to grow this company to be a monstrosity. Not with a whole bunch of people, but I definitely want it to grow. Definitely double than what we have right now. Maybe a little bit more. From Tech Grunt 11G, for someone studying the CompTIA CISA Plus exam, what are some resources, advice, or tips you would like to share? To be honest with you, Tech, I haven't taken a CompTIA class and certification in probably 20 years. But I will tell you, and I don't know if CompTIA is open book or not, but when we do SANS certifications are open book. And thank goodness, because it's a monstrosity. It literally is. So like I create an Excel spreadsheet, list all the topics in alphabetical order, and then I put in the book and the page number, and it gets all tabbed once I'm ready to take my my certification. So on book 1 I have multiple Excel pages printed and stapled to book 1, and as I'm going through it, I'll answer the stuff I know off the top of my head. Then I'll go back and look up those answers, and it'll point me right to the page, right to the book, the page, and the paragraph number. Everything's tabbed, and everything like that. So each book has its own color highlighter. So I've done some different variations of that as well, but it helps, especially when you're in the test taking. You could go alphabetically to look at the topic to quickly find your answer, because those are time tests. So if it's not open book, then I use flashcards. A lot of flashcards, a lot of definitions, a lot of what ifs, what if that, what if, whatever, and mix them up, and I just go. All right, so we do have just a few more minutes. I do want to roll through these a little bit. Let's see what else we got. I would work for cyber, Simply Cyber, really. Cool. What are some tools to improve log analysis? I would start looking at increasing your log data storage. Most of the Windows defaults are complete trash, and that includes your firewall. And I would install Sysmon and get a good configuration tool. Start there if you're not using that, and then scale up. Because I can't tell you how many cases we have Sysmon isn't even installed, and it would help with investigation and just IT problems too. Question from the haircut fish. What's up, buddy? Will that include how to defend against it? I have no idea what you're talking about. Oh, I guess that's talking about Jerry's thing that's for tonight. Looking at some of the other follow-up comments. From Ronwell Wood, I'm currently in help desk, so I have the labs over at Professional Experience at the separate community, like you said. Yep. Definitely. Continuing education, good friend. I haven't met anyone in Team SC in person yet. Sounds like that is going to change. So, Space Tacos, are you going to Simply CyberCon and or Wawa Hackenfest? Only because I see my name. What? Like Gary, the difference between your and Eric was notable and threw it in contrast. Oh, 10-4. Thank you for that clarification. From CTI with Jay, this will be the last question, ladies and gentlemen. The last question. I'm taking my SANS in 30 days. You should give a 30-minute. You should give a 30-minute show to tell of your open book. CTI with Jay. I'll do one better. There are other YouTube videos that we actually follow to go through creating our indexes and stuff like that. I do no justice to reproduce that video. So I'm going to put it in mod chat. And I know you're not in mods, but I'll put that link in mod chat here in the next hour once I dig it up, and just ask any of the mods for that YouTube link, and I'm sure they'll share it with you in one of the other channels. I'm not a big Discord person, so I'll share it with them, and I'm sure one of them would be happy to share that out with you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank y'all for tuning in. I know there were some questions I did not get to, and I am terribly sorry about that. Definitely save them. I'm going to try to be back on Jawjacking for Friday. Make sure you tune in the rest of the week. If you're new, there's a pen tester called Tyler Ramsey that really brings some value on Thursday. So if you have pen testing vulnerability questions like that, definitely come in for the Thursday Jawjacking. That will be very, very cool. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, stay curious. See y'all later.
There once
once was a kid whose passwords laid across all sites. They were the same, a criminal, then found their fame by taking that data to go.
Soon may a criminal come to steal your pictures and data and run. One day when the crime is done, they'll steal your account and go.
But real quick, I just posted the next link. I know, Jerry, once I end this, it will go over, but just in case it doesn't, I just posted the link into chat. So definitely click on there and we'll see y'all over there.